Yikes, dude. So, what I was going to do today was do another episode of the Let's Play for Fallout New Vegas, but yo, one of the developers of Apex Legends is having a meltdown over the criticism he is getting. So I just want to give my own personal 2 cents about this. Let's start at the top. All right, so 4.4K upvotes, an update on the Iron Crown event. Dev reply inside. Hey everyone, at launch we made a promise to players that we intend to do monetization in a way that felt fair and provided choice to players on how they spent their money and time? That's utter bullshit starting us off, because there's not a choice. You can't just buy the one thing you want. You have to randomly roll for it. What choice is there? Anyway, a core decision during development of Apex Legends was that we wanted to make a world-class battle royale game in quality, depth, progression, and important for today's conversation, how we sell stuff. Yeah. With the Iron Crown event, we missed the mark when we broke our promise on making Apex packs the only way to get what many consider to be the coolest skins we released. We've heard you and have spent a lot of time this weekend discussing the feedback on how we structure events in the future, as well as change that we will make to the Iron Crown. To get right into it, here are the changes we are making. On the 20th, so that's 2 days from now, we will be adding and rotating all 12 event-exclusive legendary items into the store over the course of the final week of the event for the regular legendary cost of 1,800 Apex coins. You will still be able to purchase Iron Crown Apex packs for 1,800 coins if you choose. Wait, what? So, I mean, that's a little much having to. So, Apex Legends is another one of those games that you do not have the option of just buying your set amount of coins. Like 1,800 is 1,000 is $18, 18 USD. I'm not sure how it converts to euro, but there's no option to buy just $18 worth of that. So it's actually $20 worth of coins. You'll still be able to purchase Iron Crown Apex packs for 700 Apex coins if you choose. The store schedule for the week will be like this. Okay, that's the legendary stuff, and that's the 12 legendary stuff. But what about the other 12 items that you still need to buy? Oh, so you can buy just that, but not a good look. For future collection events, we will provide many ways to obtain other than just buying Apex packs. That'd be nice, please. Like, let people use their battle pass for it. Let people just buy the thing they want straight up. But $20 for a skin seems a little bit much. But I guess it's better. We need to be better at letting our players know what to expect from various event structures in Apex Legends. Over the last 6 months, we've been learning a lot about operating a live service free-to-play game, and one of the few takeaways from this week, beyond what was mentioned above, is that our messaging for expectation needs to be clear. Yeah, kind of. This is a different event structure than the Legendary Hunt from Season 1, and will be different from planned future upcoming events. We're learning more each day on what works, what doesn't, and how to provide the best possible experiences and content to all of you. With Apex Legends, it's very important to us that we don't sell a competitive advantage. Our goal has been not to squeeze every last dime out of our players, and we have structured the game so that all players benefit from those who choose to spend money. Events like Legendary Hunt or Iron Crown exist so that we can continue to invest in creating more free-to-play content for all players. This week has been a learning experience for us all, and we're taking lessons forward and continue bringing the best possible experience to all of you. Thank you again for being part of the Apex Legends community. We look forward to continuing releasing awesome new stuff for everyone to enjoy. So, again, 64% upvoted. Yeesh. Not the best record. Now, again, I don't hate microtransactions. I think they're fine. I think, especially in free-to-play games, they need to be a thing. Money doesn't grow on trees, and you can't expect these devs to just work on the happiness of people. It's just how the real world works, guys. I do think having to spend $20 for a skin is kind of much, but that's still better than just having to hope you get it. But at least you can now just buy the one you want, even if that price is a little much. Now, if that was all that was said, people would probably have been calmed down and been fine. However, there was one dev, this DKO 5 guy, who worked on Titanfall 2 at that, who got a little bit heated. And we're going to go over each of these. Hell no. In fact, give me one moment. So instead of reading each of the posts back on from there and only reading his response, we're going to read what he responded to. So this first guy, Half Alt Zito, I probably said that wrong. I know I said that wrong. Said negative 300 upvotes, by the way, or downvotes, I should say. Remember to not start sucking their dicks. They probably planned this. Edit. What happened to all those posts talking about exactly this? Alright, hell no, we're humans. You know, and we will make mistakes. And here's a point that I kind of want to capitalize. There is making mistakes, and then there's purposely structuring an event so players have to spend $170+ to get everything. You guys knew exactly what you're doing. Let's not forget you guys still try and sell $18 gun candles and skins. Y'all aren't sorry. You couldn't just get away with it. You're fucking over your player base, so you're forced to make the change. He's right. He's right. This right here is what I'm talking about. I think $18 for a cosmetic is just so much. I don't know everything that goes into making this stuff, and probably so less few people buy into these things than I really expect. But I feel like that isn't true either, because you have games like League of Legends, you have games like Path of Exile, you have so many free-to-play games that are only selling skins and only selling cosmetics and are able to keep growing. Path of Exile, to this day, is still growing as a free-to-play game that only adds cosmetics. League of Legends is starting to fuck up a little bit with their little legends and stuff, but at the end of the day, they're still adding just cosmetics. So, like, yeesh. God, I'm sick of devs. Right? God, I'm sick of devs making mistakes. You don't make mistakes. You know exactly what you're doing. The mistake is that people got pissed off at your shitty behavior. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, on to the next point. So, we have his Hyson Orb? Oh, Hyson Orb. Mozambique here. I like that. I like that. Why didn't you just do this from the start, like with the Beast from the Hunt event? You could prevent so much backlash. There's a whole host of decisions that get made for any event. And this event was designed differently. I'm not sure why. I'm really not sure why. We screwed up by not providing agency to you guys and how to obtain cool stuff. We didn't uphold our end of the deal that we set out with that launch, so changes are coming. What I really want to know is who came up with the idea to make this pack $7. That's just horrible and outrageous idea. I would have spent $20 from the get-go if I could buy the stuff individually. Well, there, see, this guy just wants to spend $20. If I can just buy the stuff individually, but with the gambling factor and a high chance of getting yet another skin for the beak, or even worse, a fucking MP3, it's a hard pass. That's just too high stakes for me. Yeah, that's my point. So a lot of things I hear about loot boxes is like, oh, well, you're getting other stuff. I want you to use any game that you play, whether it be like Overwatch, League of Legends, literally any game that you play that has multiple ways to cosmetically change your character, right? Or better yet, has multiple characters. I'm going to use League of Legends, or no, Overwatch is a better example here, since they started the loot box craze or really pushed it forward, right? So, Overwatch. Yeah, you get loot boxes pretty quickly and pretty easily. But because there's such a wide pool of things you can get, and I'm pretty sure you can, I have been so long since I played Overwatch, I can't even speak on this anymore, but I'm pretty sure you can't get duplicates anymore, I believe. Again, don't quote me on that. Sure, you get a lot of stuff for a lot of characters, but how many of you guys out there play more than like 5, maybe 6, maybe even 10 characters? I know personally, when I play Overwatch, I don't play any of the DP. I have been like a year again. I didn't play any of the DPSs. I played Symmetra Mercy Reinhardt, Roadhog, Zenyatta. That was it. Those were only. Oh, and Lucio. Those are the only characters I wanted to play. I only wanted to play support. I like healing. I really like active healing in video games like that. But I believe it's D.Va who has the most stuff for her unlocked, and I don't ever plan to play D.Va. I don't want to play D.Va. Sure, I have a legendary skin for her, but it's like, I don't want to play you. I don't find you fun. So you are getting a lot of stuff, but it's for things you don't care about. Just let people buy what they want. Remove this gambling factor. Just let people buy straight up what they want. And that's my biggest problem with loot boxes. They trick you into acting like, oh, you get so much. But do you really? Do you really get that much when you aren't really getting anything that you actually want? or most of the stuff is just things that you do not care about, and you could wish for literally anything else, right? That's my problem with loot boxes. If they're, I think I'm fine with loot boxes. Hell, I am fine with loot boxes in certain regards. If you can just straight up buy the thing you want, just period, whatever, you're good. On to the next point. We have MQI Ped. How in the world do you even say these names, man? It certainly feels like you're trying to squeeze out every dime from us. It kind of does. We'll leave that to the other games that do things that provide methods to pay for power. We're not hugely monetizing the game. What? How are you not hugely monetizing the game? There was an option. You had to spend $170 to unlock the right to spend $30 to get an item you want. How is that not hugely monetizing the game? Are you joking? Anyway, we just need to make enough money to keep the game going and make more stuff for everyone. When we decided to make Apex Legends a free-to-play game, it was imperative that free-only players still can get access to all gameplay while having the chance to earn the coolest-looking cosmetics. Unless they changed it, don't you actually get locked out from being able to get any more free loot boxes after a while? They could have changed this since then. I'm not fully sure. But I'm pretty sure there reaches a point where it's just like, oh, I can't get any more loot boxes. But, you know, chance to earn all those cool looking cosmetics. And again, we have that problem of I'm not getting the cosmetics that I want or care about. Let's look at this Lapdog's guide response directly under. Have you discussed lowering the shop price? It seems drastically higher than any other free-to-play game or ones that sell cosmetics. I know for a fact I would buy skins at lower prices, $5 to $10 depending, but $18 for a character skin that I don't even see seems a bit much. Buying 4 skins would be more than paying for a full MSRP $60 game. Exactly. We are spending a quarter to a third, or in the other, before they put in this change, quite literally spending 3 times as much as a AAA game to get a skin. I can't be behind this, oh, it's only cosmetic nonsense, because it does matter. People do know it matters. The developers of these games know it matters. If it didn't matter, they wouldn't spend their time doing it and they'd be doing other ways of trying to make money. It does matter. People care about this. People care about getting the option to customize your character, you know? Next. Here we have Queen of the Egg. This is definitely a change for the better, but I'm still super hesitant to buy from the shop now. Who's to say this isn't going to happen again with EA holding Respawn in this game by the balls? By all means, vote with your wallet, says this guy. Reddit, Twitter, etc. are all really bad places for getting real data. We get tons of information from the actual live game being played by tens of millions of people that informs us way more than you would imagine. We are honestly trying to operate this game as best as possible. If you aren't happy with what we're providing, let us know. We aren't happy. That's why we're complaining about it. So wait a minute. Do you want people to criticize your game or not, or just I don't understand what's going on here. Of course people are upset. These prices are egregious. Period. You're right, Reddit and Twitter can be hyper vocal, but it's the silent whales that are buying the game. It's where the data is. Yeah. Another good point. It's not. Most players, I think there was a study a while ago where most players who play free-to-play games, only like 10% actually spend money into them, right? And it's only like a little bit. It's very, very few who are these whales, but it's those whales that are keeping these video games going. The ones who have the gambling addictions, the ones who have the kids who don't know any better, stuff like that. I'm not one of those people who be like, oh, ban loot boxes because if we don't do it, the kids are going to get away with it. No, parents should be looking at their kids better. Then again, developers of these video games and publishers should be doing more to make it harder to just instantly buy these things. But they're not going to do that because that's going to lower their profit margin, and no company is ever going to lower their profit margin. Anyway, next. So instead of just boxes, they're $20. Peace Frog says this. So instead of just boxes, they're $20 each, and still no way to earn them via gameplay. I mean, and Yetta has the exact point, I think, when I see all this people about saying who are getting too upset at microtransactions. They need to be a thing in free-to-play games. That's just the hardcore truth of the matter. These developers need to make money. I mean, they can't make all the skins from the event available for free by playing. I agree. You must understand they need to create revenue from these events. This, and I agree with this. We'd love in the universe allowed a way for us to provide every piece of content for free. But until that happens, we're gonna have to charge for some portion of the stuff we make. I agree. We can put a hardline stance on anything gameplay related though, and will not require players to buy anything that affects gameplay. Also, and the only reason that developers and publishers really do that is because they know if they do that, it'll kill their game, period. They're not doing it to try to make it better for players. They know that most players would be like, why am I going to spend my time in this game when it's clearly and blatantly pay to win? Literally everyone knows this. No one is saying not to include microtransactions in a free-to-play game, ever. Well, I mean, some people are. Some people are that stupid. The problem is that your organization and your parent company, EA, have known for a long time, a damn long time, how to properly balance monetization. Yet every single game EA, releases, they try to poke the community as much as they can to get as much money as they can until it either receives significant backlash or fails, for which you then walk back the necessary amount until the backlash subsides over and over again. That's a very common business practice, by the way, where you kind of like throw out a random number of price or throw out a high price, and then people backlash, and you'll dial it back just enough to get people back on your side, and then it'll be like, oh look, they're looking out for us. No, they're baiting and switching you. Different games had different communities, cultures, and EA tested with every game to see how much the community will allow them to milk. It's honestly just pathetic and obvious. It's why you're seeing the rise of asshat gamers to begin with. If EA didn't go through the same subtle manipulative tactics each time, then there wouldn't be such a controversy on this. Money runs this shit. Gamers are incredible consumers who simply won't stand for the repetitive poking. Thank you. Thank you. That's all I'm saying. That's exactly the point I'm making. EA has been doing this repeatedly for like the past 9 years, if not longer. I don't know why this is surprising anymore. Problem isn't having to pay for them. The problem for me since day one is the cost of legendary skin, $20 for a skin, and a first-person game is way too much. I said since day one, and will die on the hill if I need be. 10 max, I buy every skin I like. But we ran test and shop, and it doesn't increase revenue. Translation: put an $18 skin on sale for $12 so that the players will need to pay $20 worth of coins anyway, and then end with 950 coins that they can't buy anything directly outside of loot boxes. Yeah, that would totally increase revenue so much more. And see, that's my problem. There's no way to just directly buy these things, and I was right. There isn't a way to just buy $18 worth of stuff. It's like, spend $20. Oh, you have some left over? Here's another thing. You know you want it, right? Come on, you only need a little bit more now that you have this. It's just ways to manipulate people into buying more. I personally have willpower, and I can utterly resist this kind of thing, but I know there are people who can't. You know? Ugh. This is also the first comment of his that actually has negative downvotes, and it's like, here's where he starts to get a little bit upset. Almost rightfully so. Like, the internet is a cruel, toxic place. Sure, there's gonna be plenty of people who defend you, but it's those ones who are like upset at you who always seem to be the loudest, you know? Anyway, call it what you want, but we didn't hold onto our promises we said earlier, and we're doing what we can to make it right. Why didn't you... As for skin pricing, we have run promotions on skins and have found an almost zero uplift on sales numbers. The reality is that the percentage of people who actually purchase items is incredibly low. That's probably true. I really do feel like most people who play free-to-play games don't actually spend money. And price changes do not have enough of an effect to change that. Well, I mean... yeah, this person right below that has that. I would say a huge problem for the on-sale items is that there's a 1,200 Apex tokens. If it were 1,000 Apex tokens, people would just buy the $10 pack of coins instead of, the $20 pack. So how do you expect there to be a decent change in, like, people buying when it's like, all right, spend $20 to get this thing, or spend $20 to get this thing? It's not really a sale there. That, of course, you can't do a sale and not really making a sale. What do they expect to happen here? We run analytics and stats for all the time to ensure we're riding the right balance. So I'm not saying price points can't change in the future, but for the time being, the change we're making to provide the Iron Crown legendary skins and the rotating stars so that the Apex packs aren't the only way to obtain those skins. Again, fair. But like, And from here, he starts to get kind of pissy. Again, I kind of understand it, but Imperfect World says this is 100% planned from the start. They're right. You always see these people, these developers, publishers saying, "Oh, we had extensive thought process and testing to make sure all this is right," and then say they make mistakes. Yeah, it's kind of not really true, but all right. As mentioned in game on the Apex.com post about the Iron Crown event, sorry about the Discord message by the way, we're planning on putting these skins in the store eventually. Think months, not weeks. But putting them in the store during the event was not on the table. It was. It completely was. There was nothing stopping you. You're the ones who are deciding this. What I don't get is why does the skin cost $20? Sure, you guys can make a profit from it, but charging $20 for one skin is just limiting your customers. You're only selling it to people who can drop 20, 40 bucks whenever and not think anything of it. Charge 5 to 10 bucks for a skin and you'll be reaching more customers. Those whales would still buy them for the price, as well as people like myself and plenty of other people here. I just feel like you're making bigger profit by lowering the prices. And again, we don't really know. Both of these guys are making, because you constantly see companies saying that, oh, we need to charge this much, but we have never seen the inner workings of any of these companies. I have yet to see a company other than like an indie game company, like on Kickstarter, saying, oh, here's how much money we need to do this thing. Like, I believe it was Skullgirls, right? They actually had like an infographic video, or YouTube video, I'll link in the description, in fact, that showcased why they needed this much money. They needed like $300,000 or something like that. And it was like, oh, here's why we need this, 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 and this, and this. And we don't see that from any other major developer. So it's just kind of hard to believe them that they need to make people spend this much, you know? On the flip side, however, to be fair, we don't know how much work goes into these things. So they might actually need to spend this much money. But until they show us the information of such, we don't really know. And Avast can you not. Rust Belt PGH says, messaging for expectations. One in the name of corporate buzzwords is this. We need our Apex players to think outside the box to find synergy for our stockholders. Anyway, happy to clarify, all the messaging about Iron Crown before it launched failed to talk at all about how to obtain the skins we were showing off. I wonder why. Maybe it was for the exact same reason that publishers are waiting until the first day before they throw out their microtransactions or throw out their games. Is because they don't want to showcase the bad parts of their games and give people time to have scrutiny over it. And based off previous events being a different structure and scope of the backlash of seeing the Iron Crown event did not help anything. In general, just trying to say we know we did not communicate clearly enough what to expect, and we will do better on that in the future. So in Respawn's mind, this was an issue of messaging things. So people would be less mad at this item will cost you $170 if they knew 2 weeks earlier. That's not, people would still be upset. It's just that they would have had to dial back the prices sooner because this backlash would have happened sooner. That's the only thing that would have happened here. They're coming out and basically saying they fucked up. If they were to do this again, they would lose a large amount of players. I don't think this will happen again. Billy X Max, have you been paying attention to EA at all in the past 10 years? Okay, here's a good example. Battlefront 2, Battlefront came out in 2017. They messed up a lot, didn't add single player, didn't have anywhere near as much options as the Xbox game that came out like 10, 13 years before that. And they said, oh, we won't make this mistake again. Fast forward to the next game where they make some of the same mistakes. This is quite literally EA's MO. So it's just kind of hard to believe that anything under EA is being honest when they said they're not going to make this mistake again. Ugh. Not sure if this is what you mean, but in reality, the Iron Crown event has been a success, both with revenue and player engagement. Our numbers are up across the boards. It's almost like that's quite literally the point of these limited event items, right? I've always hated that argument. Of course, both your revenue and player engagement is going to be up. You're giving people only a limited time to get these cosmetics before you put them in the normal loot table, and people have to spend so much more to get these items. Right? Okay. You know what the perfect example of this is? They have said that the heirloom item, the heirloom axe, is going into the new normal loot crates after this. Right? Right now, you can spend $170 to $200 to get it right now. The moment quite literally the moment it hits the normal loot boxes, that price is going to jump up from $170 to $200 to $300 to $500 unless you're lucky. On average, it's going to cost that much. There are people who are still trying to grind out for the heirloom item for Shroud. Again, there are people who are incredibly lucky, but then you have people like Dr. Lupo or that guy who spent $500 to finally get the heirloom item on his last chest. So it's going to go. The price of these heirloom items is going to jump from $170 to $200 to $300, $300 to $500, realistically anyway. This was not a decision made in any way other than to fix the broken promise we made to everyone at launch about providing choice on how players can get items. Again, there's that word of choice, and yet you still won't let people just buy the items they want, period. So, yeah. This doesn't mean every item is available for grind or purchase on Apex Pack. Why not? But providing only Apex Packs for the Iron Crown skins was a misstep on our part. Again, why not? Why can't you just let people purchase what they want? I've never understood that argument. It's so bad. And here's where he starts to get pissy. I want you to take note of how many downvotes he has. So let's read Dominic Articio's post first. $20 is a lot better than gambling with these crown packs. They listened, they heard, and hopefully the next event will be improved. Doubt it. At least they're communicating with us. Probably why we didn't respond so quickly, because of so much backlash. I like respond and respect, and thanks for the update. Oh, you poor innocent child. Stay innocent forever. And yeah. We've said it before, but we will not engage with temper tantrums. That's fair. But you also won't engage in any of the questions that personally, rather constructively, call out this greed. And personal attacks or vitriol threads are completely unacceptable. We took a look in the mirror this week, lol, thanks for the attack, guys, and decided we hadn't met up our obligations and are making changes because we believe in our approach. Your approach is wrong. I've been in the industry long enough to remember when players weren't complete at-hats to developers, and it was pretty neat. I forged a bunch of long-lasting relationships from back then. Would be awesome to get back there and not engage the toxic people or asking how high when a mob screams jump to hopefully a start. This right there is the most biggest bunch of bullshit ever. There is not going to be a time where there aren't assholes who are mad at you. People have been on and give nothing but praise for you guys for Titanfall 2. They've given nothing but praise for you guys for the good things you do. And there are still plenty of people who still give you praise even now. So this notion of players being asshats is stupid. Yes, there's asshats. There's always going to be. But you can't do things like this and expect people to be on your side. This is blatant greed. Anyway, this diddly Oppius guy, yeah, puts it pretty well. You're selling virtual items for 3 times the cost of an entire full price game and pushing gambling as hard as you can on kids. Everything about Apex Patch works is calculated to be as addicting as possible, and it absolutely preys on kids and addicts. How does that not get you more? How can any decent human being look at that and not feel gross? I understand the community's reaction has been terrible, but take a step back and look at what you're doing. There's no doubt you're ruining lives with these gambling you're pushing so hard. And you can honestly sit here and call us asshats for being mad? I'm not saying what some of the community does is justified, and I know it's going to suck to get through all this, but just seems so out of touch from what you're doing. Exactly. I'm not defending the people who are just jumping on them, telling them to kill themselves and stuff, and like being just utterly hateful. I'm not getting behind that. But you can't do things like expect people to pay that much for an item and then just expect everyone to just say like, oh, sweet, man. Thank you for making us spend $200 to get this one item I wanted. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. And then we can see a lot of negative contracts. And here's the post I like the best, right? That he best believe won't be responded to. So repeating what he said. I've been in the industry long enough to remember when players weren't complete asshats to developers, and it was pretty neat. Was it by chance a time when cosmetic events didn't cost $200? Called out. Someone get the lotion for that. Burn. Yoish. Ouch. Rustbelt PhD says, thanks? I mean, I was able to understand it. It's just the part of your messaging issue is that you're talking to us about a video game like it's a human resources convention. Well, posts like this go through about 28 people before you post it, so apologies? That means 28 people failed to address the actual issue. Exactly. Yeah. So that many people failed to see the problem. Hmm. Hyperfry says, but the complaints were a factor, right? This is on to his point about why they lowered the price in the first place. The reality is that anytime we add something to the game that costs money, there's negative feedback. Duh? I want you to find anything in the world that doesn't have negative feedback. If you give out 100 cookies to people, there's going to be that one asshole who's like, I don't want this kind of cookie. This is bad. You're always going to have negative feedback on anything. You can't focus on that. I don't see how that's even an argument. People just want free stuff. Again, duh? We knew that was coming, but what we hadn't fully appreciated was our bond we broke. My comment was a reference to Billy X Mac, saying we would lose a huge amount of players. By looking at the graphs, we did the exact right from the Iron Crown, but looking at our heart shows we done goose. No, really? People just want free stuff. From that highly rated thread that got close to upwards of 30k upvotes, and what I read on the sub elsewhere, I never saw anyone ask for free stuff. They expected it because you people set the foundation of what events looked like with the Hunt event, and all the promotions for Iron Crown never talked about how everything was locked behind a surprise mechanic. And that's about the limit of what people expect in terms of free. Most of us are paying for a chance. $7 no less. Please tell the people want it free. Yeah, of course, but it's not like we wouldn't pay for it if the prices were decent at least. We've been complaining about the regular in-game shop ever since. It's bad. This one was horrendous, but it's always been bad. The sales too. Exactly. I would actually be happy to support Respawn by buying reasonable price skins. If they were a little more reasonable, I would drop plenty of cash supporting the game. I actually appreciate what they were doing and are entitled to change and charge us for cosmetics because it's a free-to-play game, However, at $18 a skin for the first-person game, plus the fact that you had to pay $20 just to get enough coins to buy a skin, feels scummy. It makes me not want to invest in their ecosystem. Also, many of your weapon skins simply haven't been good, and certainly haven't been worth the money they're asking for. They've done better cosmetically, but then they pulled this whole crown event on us and made it pretty damn determined not to spend money. Hopefully they will find a good balance. Right, my dude? This is an important thing right here. B Ben Nova, dude, lol, don't bullshit us, while stating they made $92 million in their first month. So, again, you have no idea how this industry works, what development costs, or how companies operate. Please don't call me a bullshitter. That's fair. That's not really fair to just kind of bolt to say that. We don't know all the context that goes into any of these things. But the industry won't let us know. So how are we supposed to believe when all we see is them reporting, oh, we made record profits and we're able to give our CEOs hundreds of millions of dollars? If you tell us these things as normal people but show us the steps, how are we supposed to believe you that you need to make people spend this much? Like, really? Show us that you need this much money instead of just complaining, you know? And here's where things get off the rails. There's a wealth of data available on how monetization works in free-to-play games, and we ourselves have run tests by putting skins on sale in the store. The amount of people who spend is crazy low. Most of y'all are freeloaders, and we love that, and a change in price doesn't move the needle. You just called your customers freeloaders. What was your plan here, dude? What did you think was going to happen? You don't just insult your customers. Have you ever run a business at all? You just insulted the people who are giving you money. Oh my god. There's a reason Gillette has lost $8 billion in the last few months. Turns out when you insult and stereotype your main target audience, they tend to get really pissy. So what do you think's gonna happen here? Yoish. The sales don't do anything though. You still have to spend $20 on coins to get that sale item. Having an item between $10.01 and $20 still means you have to spend $20 regardless if there's a sale or not, since there isn't any option to purchase coins for $5 or $10. It's a cheap move. Exactly. That's another problem with these currency systems. They don't let you just buy what you want. The only game that I've seen that in recent years is Final Fantasy XIV. and that's just to be able to so you can like buy Krista to get your sub, and you can buy penny for penny. So 1 penny equals 1 Krista. This is getting depressing to read. We're not done yet though. Good. So Zeg Zeg actually just confirmed one of the things I said before. You cannot get any more loot boxes after you reach the level cap. Do you think $18 is a fair price for a legendary skin? Being that we are IMO, incredibly generous with the amount of free stuff we've given out, including legendary skins, yes, there is a price point for any product that the market will bear. We're definitely in the neighborhood with other games. No, you are not. No, you really aren't. League of Legends skins cost anywhere from 10 to 15, man. And you can actually see your character at all times. And you have different animations and with the stuff with your skins. Like, there are some things that League of Legends is currently fucking up on and kind of moving away from that. But for the most part, you just buy your skin and you get it. But, sure, dude. Players can't even acquire white quality skins without paying for them after you acquire their maximum amount of loot boxes from level progression. Legendary and epic quality items being part of the game, same reward pools as simple texture recolors, doesn't make the reward from the scarce loot boxes just generous. Other games have listed of throwing recolors at players to the point of being annoying. I don't share that brainwashes you've been victim to about what. Let me try to say that one more time. I don't share the brainwashing you've been victim to about what content you do and do not give away. Sorry, but $18 isn't even close to fair. Do you know how many fully fledged games I can buy for $18? I would gladly buy a skin or multiple at $5 or maybe even $10, but close to 20, actually 20, is really asking a lot for a single skin. It's insulting to your players, really. I'm glad the whales are buying up your MTX, but don't act like your pricing scheme is reasonable. It's not. Likewise, don't get me wrong, I enjoy the game a lot, but I've been playing since day one. Got both battle passes and spent money on loot boxes. I play with all the characters and glad buy a skin for every single one of them if they were around $5 or so, but $18 for a skin is just absurd. Exactly. And this one's just funny. Our goal has not been to squeeze every last dime out of our players. Dude, blink twice if EA is behind you, Jay. I hate when I write things like that. That's just funny. And here is the final post. I worked my ass off on Titanfall 2 and complete package, and also provided awesome post-launch support with a ton of free, and yes, some paid, content, and the ass hattery was there too. Again, of course it is. There's never not going to be ass hats. But just about every and anyone who's played that game has called it one of the best FPSs to ever come out. Not just the gameplay, but also the story. I can personally attest to that. No one here is saying that you should be okay with all this hate you're getting. But you cannot just do things like this anymore. You can't just put in loot boxes knowing people hate loot boxes. You can't just expect people to be happy having to spend $200 to get a cosmetic. No, I'm not trying to paint all players with a huge brush. You kind of are, actually. You literally did in the other post. I'm commenting on the fact that nowadays it's just easier and less stressful to not post anywhere if you're a dev. That sucks. And this post right below it kind of showcases why people are upset. Drew, I do want to say we appreciate you talking to us, and we know it can be hard as a dev with all the flack you get for mistakes. I love Titanfall 2, same, and you did an amazing job. The content was fantastic, and the DLC was happily purchased. The difference between Titanfall's 2 content and this game is simple. We paid for what we wanted, and we got it. We weren't forced into gambling for a chance to win what you want. We've been around long enough to know that most people aren't happy with loot boxes, and you still made it a primary focus in this game, particularly this event. Your team knew what to expect as far as the event was concerned, and you knew what to expect as far as the live service aspect of the game is concerned. This is literally on you. So yeah, that guy is quite upset. And again, he's kind of in the right for being upset. He is getting bashed for doing what he probably loves, and he's probably just having to have to be more or less a cod piece to some of the bullshit he's speaking. I will say though, it is unfair how much hate that developers do get from a lot of people, and if they do even the slightest negative thing, they get like bashed out unfairly. But when you do things like this, you can't expect people to just be happy. You just can't. You know what? I want you to imagine. Here's another reason why the process of loot boxes is dumb. And let's just use a comparison. Imagine if you went to a grocery store, right? But instead of just buying the things you want, looking for sales and doing things like that smart, the only way to get any kind of the food or the things or to get items in general was to buy random chests on shelves. You don't know what's inside, you can't test what's inside, there are chances of what's inside, and you just gotta pay for it wholesale. On the off chance, you're gonna get the food you love. You're gonna get the food that's amazing. You're gonna get the food that's you're okay with. But then just as much, you're gonna get the food that you hate, or other times the food that you're allergic to and you can't eat. And that's basically the correlation of the problem with loot boxes. And these prices, again, are just a little bit too much. And I think a lot of these arguments of, oh, we're seeing amazing amounts of retention and players playing right now. Of course, it's an event. It's an event with limited items and a limited time space that you will get screwed out of if you don't get it now. Of course, you're seeing a higher amount of money spent into it. Duh? Ugh. Well, good luck to you, buddy. Just good luck to you. I don't really know what to say to you guys. But for anyone watching, however, I hope you all have a good evening, morning, day, and night. I'm out. Later.